Hello, hello. It's Business Partner B1 Plus, Unit 5 Logistics, Lesson 5.4 Business Skills, Negotiating, Part B. Yes, this is the Part B of this lesson 5.4. It was a wonderful Part A in which we saw many qualities that an international negotiator should have. And we saw an example meeting in which Anne asked for better conditions to Mr. Anders. It was a very interesting lesson, and today, in the second video, we are going to see in more details the language we use for negotiating. And it's business skills. So we are going to learn how to become better people, better negotiators, better workers, to be honest. So if you want to improve your business skills, stay here, follow the exercises, follow the language we are going to practice here, because this is really, really interesting. And what's the first part here? We have these 12 expressions that were in the recordings in exercise 3 from the first lesson, the part A of the lesson. We have to match them with the correct points, these points, A to L, in the 4-step negotiation process. Let's study a bit better this chart here. We have 4 steps of a negotiating meeting. We have the opening, we have the proposals, we have the bargaining or discussion, and the summary and closing. Do you remember we saw in more details these parts? For example, we saw that, where's it? We saw that the opening is that part in which we start the meeting by confirming the agenda and who's present, right? After that, we look here, we welcome everybody, state the agenda, and the interesting part is to invite the other party to present their proposals. And then there's the second part, that are the proposal phase, where each party presents their view of the situation, with space for clarifications. So the person shows what they think about the agenda, and then the other one can request feedback on their own ideas. They can clarify other person's ideas to see whether they understood very well or not. After that, there's the bargaining or discussion, in which these proposals are like questions. There are responses, counter proposals, and then they try to reach agreement. Like there's a bargain to find an agreement. Give positive feedback on a proposal is very nice because it tends to contribute to a good mood of the meeting, and then negative feedback on a proposal to try to get a better condition. And then you try to reach an agreement. And after that, there's the final summary and closing, where the agreement, if reached, is confirmed, minuted, and the next steps agreed. So you summarize the agreement reached, you confirm the next steps, and then you close positively. These are the 12 steps that are here exemplified by these sentences, these expressions, right? Okay, we are going to match them with these points from a four-step negotiation process. Let's take a look at them and try to link them to these steps. Why don't you pause the video and try to do it yourself? Pause the video, try to link these sentences. Oh, let's read the sentences before trying to do that. To start, I'd like to hear from you first. Just to clarify, you mean we agreed to... Good to see you again. Are you well? That seems reasonable. How does that sound to you? Excellent. Well, that was quick and efficient. If you confirm that in an email to me, then I think we can do this, but we will need to... What I'd like to discuss today is... that's a little high. We were hoping for something lower. And my proposal would be that we... So, these sentences here are connected to these steps of the four-step meeting. Let's try to link them, to match them, all right? But again, I suggest you to pause the video and try to do the exercise. Did you try? All right, let's check them. Let me start by... Let's do this in this order. You could start from here, yes, of course, but the welcome sentence. Look, the welcome sentence is here. Good to see you again. Are you well? All right? So A is number 4. State the agenda. What do you want to discuss? It's in sentence 10. What I'd like to discuss today is... Right? C. Invite other party to present. To start, I'd like to hear from you first, because they know what they're going to discuss. The agenda was sent in advance, so the other person should come with an idea of what the discussion will be about, right? So you invite the other person to present. Start, I'd like to hear from you first, and present own proposals. Now you that called the meeting, or the other person that called the meeting, is going to present their proposals. And this is here. My proposal would be that we... And probably there are differences between what the other person presented and what this part is presenting, right? And then there will be a request of feedback on own ideas. And this is here. How does that all sound to you? I'm asking the other person to say whether they understood and if they agree, if they like it, all right? And probably there will be this. Clarify other person's ideas to check if they can go together. Look, just to clarify, you mean... Just to clarify, you want to lower the price here, increase the number of hours here, send more products here, lower the number of colors you produce, something like this. You know, just to clarify, you mean, because you have to understand each other. And after that, the bargaining or discussion to try to reach an agreement. Bargain to find an agreement by saying this. I think we can do this, but we still need to... So you accept something, but you want something in return. but we will need to give positive feedback on a proposal. If you like something, for example, 3 things that the person is suggesting, try to give positive feedback on something. And you do this by saying number 5. That seems reasonable, right? But you have to give negative feedback on things that are unacceptable. But would you say, oh, that's unacceptable? You could try something better to keep a very good mood, environment for the meeting, right? Here in 11, that's a little high. We were hoping for something lower, right? Okay, but then you continue bargaining and then you try to reach an agreement. After reaching the agreement, look, you summarize agreement reached. Why not in number 3 here? We agreed to this, that, and so on, right? After agreeing and checking that everybody agreed, there's something to do. That's to confirm next steps. Let's try here. If you confirm that in an email to me, then I will. So you are showing that you will do something that you are. Imagine if the other one sends an email confirming everything, it's law, right? So you are both showing that you agreed in something. And finally, you try to close positively. Excellent. Well, that was very nice. That was a very good agreement. That was quick and efficient. Okay, so these are the sentences that we can use in a meeting like this. Obviously, you can do your way. You can adapt these sentences, but this is a very good way to try a negotiation meeting. Very nice. By the way, I think that if we follow this, if we ask the other person or if we try to move the other person into this path, this is a positive one for both parts. Very good, by the way. After that, we have these here. Look at some more examples of bargaining to find an agreement. Match the negotiation proposals 1 to 6 with the correct response A to F. Look, we don't have here 12 sentences. We only have 6. Why? Because we are with examples of bargaining to find an agreement. We don't have here summarizing, confirming, closing, welcoming, stating the agenda. All right? So let's see the sentences. Just a sec. Yes. Good. Let's read them. How would you feel if we reduced the price? Could you accept a smaller volume? We can't agree to lower prices unless you're flexible on payment. You see, I give you something, you give me something, and we are fine. What if we tried a different approach to this? I don't accept this, you give me another idea, otherwise there's no agreement. So this is a very polite way. What if we tried a different approach on this? Can we look at increasing the discount? Would you be prepared to change to invoicing in dollars? You see, would you be prepared to? Can we look at? These are very interesting sentences. You are inviting the other person to agree on something. And how to answer? Let's read them. Here, what do you mean by increasing? I think it's a bit obvious, but You were checking the other person's ideas, and possibly the other person is giving the amount of increasement. Maybe. I'm happy to link price and payment terms. I think we'd find price reduction difficult. I think that's quite reasonable for the US side of the business. But volume is very important to us. What did you have in mind? Oh, you are checking again, right? What do you mean by? And you can do that. If you want more details, you can ask for more details. It's fine. But let's see. Why don't you pause again and try to do the exercise, the matching. Try that. Okay, did you try? Let's see. We have number 1 here. How would you feel if we reduced the price? I think we'd find price reduction difficult. Ooh. Why don't you? How would you feel if we asked you to do that for free? Well, at least he wanted to have a reduction in prices. Could you accept a smaller volume? But volume is very important to us. We can't agree to lower prices unless you're flexible in payment. I'm happy to link price and payment terms. Oh, that's an advancement, right? What if we tried a different approach to this? What did you have in mind? Can we look at increasing the discount? What do you mean by increasing? How much do you want to increase the discount? Is a more direct way, right? But this is a very polite way. What do you mean by increasing? Would you be prepared to change the invoicing in dollars? I think that's quite reasonable for the US side of the business. You see, easy, direct, very nice. So remember and try to use these structures if you want something different, and if you want clarification, or if you accept, or if you're not happy with that, you can say the meeting is for that. All right? But we have this extra activity here that is going to work a little longer, a little further with these ideas here. We have another dialogue here. Complete the dialogue using the words below. And we have agree, confirm, include, need, prefer, and suggest. Well, we should read and try to complete with a better word. So I'm going to give you some time to complete each gap, and we are going to see in the end what we have. Thanks for coming today, and this is Joe talking to Sam. They have a relationship already. They work in different companies, but they are trying to negotiate better terms. Better terms for whom? Thanks for coming today. As you can see from the agenda, the main objective is to a pricing level for next year. I know you've prepared some ideas, so would you like to start? So you see, 1, 2, 3 from that other exercise are here. The 3 sentences, the welcoming, stating the agenda, and asking the other part to start telling their point of view. But here, objective is to agree a pricing level for next year. My proposal is quite simple, Sam says. I would blah that we reduce prices by 5% across all products and services, which should give you a significant saving. How does that sound? So the person stated and asked for agreement. So what's number 2? I would that we reduce prices. I would suggest. Very good. So when you specify all products, does that also the technical support that we buy from you? No, technical support is a separate area. So what would you put here? When you specify all products, does that also include, right? Easy. Oops. Include the technical support that we buy from you. No, the technical support is a separate area. It requires more expertise, which is more expensive for us to supply. Okay, I would to include all services, including support. Well, as I say, this form of consultancy is very expensive. So, Joe would to include all services. Joe would prefer to include all services. Okay, she wants everything, right? But Sam was prepared and could say that it was very expensive. Okay, can we agree to reduce technical support by 2%? Some movement on this. I confirm or I need. I think that Joe needs to confirm with someone, right? So before confirming with Sam, Joe wants, no. So Joe is demanding, I need some movement on this. Please, I need some reduction in prices. Okay, 2% sounds fair. So why didn't I ask for 3%? Good. Then we agree 5% on products and 2% on support. I will confirm this in an email and send out new contracts to sign. Very good. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate your flexibility here. So you see, basically all those steps were covered here. But there was a positive feedback and there was a negative feedback when it was too expensive. And then they review what was agreed, next steps, and then finishing in a positive mood. Very nice, right? Very nice dialogue. But then after that, we have this. We should read the dialogue again, this dialogue, and then find the phrases which correspond to each of the following steps in the negotiating process. Okay, you are going to say we don't have the 12 steps here, but no problem. Look, I suggest you take a print because we are going to stay in the other page. Thanks for coming. Support that we buy from you. Click. And then click again. And then say goodbye. I have this prepared here. The welcome sentence. What was the welcome sentence? Easy, right? Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming today. How did Sam? Is it Sam? No, how did Joe invite Sam to state the state what they have prepared. Invite the other party to present. We have here the sentence, she said, would you like to start? No, I don't want to. But then Sam said what they had prepared. They request feedback on own ideas. Look, how does that sound? How does that sound to you? Give negative feedback on a proposal. This form of consultancy is very expensive. Do you remember that? Give positive feedback on a proposal. We checked that again. Okay, 2% sounds fair. And finally, summarize the agreement reached here. Then we agree 5% on products and 2% on support. And closing positively. Bye-bye. I appreciate your flexibility here. All right? So, this was a very positive meeting. Both were happy with the results. And then we have our task. What's that about? Well, it's a meeting that you have to have with your colleague, or if it's a private lesson with your teacher, in which you assume different roles here to present your ideas or to show your demands. Let's read a little more. Let's learn a little more what's going to happen here. Read the professional context here. You are going to prepare a negotiation between ATAX and Laura. ATAX, the seller, so they prepare something that Laura buys, and Laura, the buyer, already have a contract in place. Laura imports 2,000 coats per year in 3 different colors and 3 different designs for a unit price of 85 euros each. They're not very cheap coats, right? This includes a 15% discount on the standard unit price of 100 euros. Payment terms are currently 45 days from date of invoice. So they order and then they receive the products, and after that they have to pay, right? Okay, very nice. So what do we have to do? If it's a classroom with more people, pairs should prepare the role of negotiator for either ATAX or Laura. Plan to negotiate 5 areas. The number of coats to buy or sell, depending on the company you are going to work at, the number of colors, the number of designs, the discount, and the number of days for payment. Wow, 5 different parameters here. Prepare both the contacts, what you want to achieve in each of the 5 contract areas, and also the process, how you will manage each of the 4 negotiation steps. Very interesting. But I don't know, I can't show you everything. I have prepared here their positions. I believe that we can learn a little more about the context of each of the roles here. But when you're ready, find 2 negotiating partners who have prepared the other role and negotiate a new deal. The idea is you have someone to talk about your company. And then you find someone from the other role, and then you work together negotiating, right? That's it. And after your negotiation, discuss in your group what went well and what you found difficult during the negotiation. Then share your ideas with the class. Well, very nice task, because if you work in a company, this happens all the time. You have to negotiate with other companies depending on your role, right? If you're a developer, maybe you don't negotiate with other companies, but you negotiate with your boss. Your team has to discuss with the manager. Things inside the company happen as well. So let's learn how to negotiate by doing this exercise. Let me show you here. There's ATEX, that is the seller. They prepare the clothes and they sell to Laura. ATEX has a very successful year, had a very successful year, and is planning to produce more coats, 40% more next year, and is opening a new factory in southern Turkey. Laura is an important customer for you. You see the potential for medium to long-term cooperation. So you want to sign a new contract for next year. So you want something. You have 5 areas to negotiate with different options in each area. Now, I think that I shouldn't show you this in details because you could work for Laura in this exercise and then you shouldn't know everything, all the details from ATEX. But here, if you wanted, you could have taken a print. And then let's learn a little more about Laura, the buyer. ATEX is an important supplier for you. The products are generally popular and you believe you can sell more. Oops, why should I do that? Sorry. You can sell more if you have more colors and designs. You have 5 areas to negotiate with different options in each area. The number of coats, number of colors, notice that in British English there's the U here. Number of designs, level of discount, and terms of payment. Each area has a number of associated points. If you score over 25 points, you win a personal €5, 5,000 euros bonus. Well, again, I shouldn't show you everything because you can work for ATEX. And if you know Laura's strategies, it couldn't be very good for the exercise. But if you want, you can take a print and study in more details. Here are all the parameters. The point is that everybody wants good terms and above all, they want to keep the relationship between ATEX and Laura, right? By learning how to do that, you are going to practice all these structures, all these steps, and you are going to be a much better negotiator in the end, in your area, in your work for the company you work for. So this is a very positive exercise, a very positive lesson. If you liked, please strike the like button, follow the channel. You probably follow already, but follow the channel. And if you're really, really, really happy, remember, I like coffee, so you could buy me a cup of coffee. I hope you really liked the lesson because it was lots of fun for me recording this video. See you in the future in the next lesson. Bye-bye.